Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Hegseth's Signal Chat report. The Inspector General's report is out about Hegseth's little Signal Chat. Hegseth claimed Wednesday that the report was a, quote, total exoneration. Maybe this administration has a different definition of the word exoneration than, well, everybody else. I do not think it means what they think it means. I don't want to get into the weeds about classifications because SecDef is a declassifying authority, and regardless, he'll just say he declassified it before sharing it in the Signal Chat that had a reporter in it. But it is worth briefly noting that not too long before he dropped the information in a group chat, like he had found out about a great new restaurant, it was marked secret and no foreign by CENTCOM. So, shortly before SecDef shared it with a reporter, the people whose lives depended on the information staying secret had it marked secret and said it couldn't be shared with foreign nationals. But moving on from that, to get to the important part in the report detailing Hegseth's total exoneration, quote, if this information had fallen into the hands of U.S. adversaries, Houthi forces might have been able to counter U.S. forces or reposition personnel and assets to avoid planned U.S. strikes. Even though these events did not ultimately occur, the Secretary's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. Generally, a total exoneration doesn't include a bit about how it created an OPSEC risk and state that potential outcomes included a failed mission and pilots holding newspapers. This is actually incredibly bad. The report also states that, quote, the details that the Secretary entered into the chat included information from the U.S. CENTCOM email, detailing the types of aircraft, launch times, and strike times for the operation. Yeah, that kind of information is generally something you don't put out into the ether. But you don't have to take my word for it, because the report goes on to say that CENTCOM's classification guide plainly states, quote, the operational movement of aircraft should be classified as secret. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge that the reason this information wasn't all over Twitter while pilots were in harm's way is because the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic didn't jump the gun. Look, it's a foreign policy event and military operation. Everybody has their opinion on the necessity of the operation and whether or not it was the right thing to do. But from the point of view of U.S. national interests, the editor-in-chief at The Atlantic kept his mouth shut better than SecDef. I can't stress this part enough. According to the IG report, Hegseth claimed was a total exoneration. He created a situation where American forces were at risk because he didn't follow the pretty simple rules. If that was an exoneration and something to be blown off, what was he expecting to be in the report? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.